Okay, guys. So yesterday we saw list, tuple, and dictionary data type, right? So we will start. So all basic data types are over. Now we will talk about for loop, while loop, and decision making. Basically, if else condition, nested if else, all those things. So once this is over, right, then you will be able to write the program, 10 lines of program, 5 lines of program. All those things will be you will be able to do that, because without this you cannot write program. Correct. So let's see what is for loop. Anybody else? Anybody want to talk about what is for loop? Have you heard about it?
Sir, to create the condition we use for loop, or we can say loop to repeat the program.
To validate the condition.
Okay. What else? I'm not able to hear you guys properly. 1 second. Yeah. To repeat some operation for a particular number, right? I mean, let's say if I tell you to write hello world 5 times, how will you write? सबसे basic solution क्या है उसका? Simple solution.
We will
first
we write the code hello world and then give the condition when the condition meets
No.
five times.
Let's not talk about the condition. You don't know for loop.
So we will start from 0 until 5. We will print the hello world.
Yes. Basically, you will write print 5 times. Correct. So if you do this kind of thing, right, though it is going to work programmatically, it is correct, but it is not the optimized solution. Okay, so that's where this for loop and while loop will come into picture. So you want to repeat certain operation an n number of time, a particular number of time, right? That's where you will be using for loop. Okay, so let's see the definition. So to be used when user knows how many iterations to be executed. So as I mentioned, like let's say you want to print 10 times hello world, correct? So you know, okay, exactly 10 times I want to run. So in that case, you will be using for loop, and exactly you will iterate over 10 times. Okay, and for loop to be executed to execute block of code several times. Your block of code could be either print hello world or it could be any operation, right, which you want to repeat again and again. Okay, so here is the block diagram. So how it works, basically this is the starting point, this black dot. Okay, and I'll tell the syntax. Okay, after that it goes for item from sequence. So this sequence is nothing but, let's say you have Python. Okay, so in Python, how many strings are there? How many characters are there? Maybe 6 characters, right? So 6 character you want to iterate, and each character you want to print separately. Let's say I want to print P, then print Y, print T, like that. Correct. So whatever number of characters are there, those many number of times you want to call print. Correct. So you can do indexing also, print 0, that is going to print P, print, let's say I'm going to write in whiteboard. Okay. So what I mean to say here, let's say you have there is one string called S P Y T H O N. I want to print each character. Okay, so P, then Y, then T, then H, then O, then N. So you know the indexing of the string, right? So they start from 0. So I can use print S of 0, S of 1, S of 2, and so on. S of N, if N characters are there, right? So you can call print these many number of times, whatever number of index are existing, correct? Instead of doing that, what we'll do, we'll iterate over each operator, each character. How to iterate? So we have one syntax called for loop. Okay, so how for loop works, basically you have this keyword called for, then here you put a variable name. This could be any name. This is a variable name. Okay, in, again we have seen in, right, it is a membership keyword. So variable in the sequence. So this sequence could be anything. When I say sequence, this is basically iterable, any iterable. When I say iterable, means a group of character, a group of elements, or the collection of element where we can iterate. Okay, so this is another kind of iterable where number of characters are there, right? We have another iterable called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So we can iterate over one first element, then second element, then third, then fourth, and fifth, like that. So these are nothing but known as iterables, and that is the iterable or nothing but sequence of any element you are going to put here. Okay, then followed by colon. So if you remember in the first class, I talked about indentation also, right? So the syntax of for loop goes like this: for variable name, in is your membership keyword, and sequence. This bracket is nothing but you don't have to use, but I'm just putting in the bracket. You need to replace any name which is variable name, and sequence will be any variable. It could be your s here, and let's say this is l equal to list, so you can put l, anything, or you can directly hardcode the list also 1 2 3, because ultimately this is also sequence, right? Okay. After that you put a colon, and after colon you hit enter. So after entering, right, your line will not start here, your line rather start from here. Okay, this whatever extra spaces are there, this is known as indentation. I'll talk about this indentation. What exactly it means? Basically, it's nothing of, let's say 4 space or 8 space. It depends on the PC. Some PC will have 8 space, or some will have 4 space. These are extra spaces get added, and this space is going to tell Python interpreter I'm starting in the for loop, and my line will go here, 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 here. Okay, so let me write again. You have for, then your variable name, then in membership keyword, then you have sequence. After that you enter, right? So the moment you press enter button, this will go here. Your line will start from here, this particular dot. First line, second line, third line, fourth line. When you go here, right, if next line is starting from here, means from here to here is your for loop, and this is nothing but exit from the for loop. Okay, you are going out of for loop and doing other set of program. Okay, so why this indentation is required? Because if you see C++ or C language or Java language, right, so they will be using for loop, all syntax, and after curly braces, right, you put whatever you want, then close the curly braces. So this kind of braces are not required in the Python. Whatever braces I put, right, opening and close, this is not required in Python. So to avoid these braces, that's what they have given indentation. Extra set of spaces will be added, and you don't have to add another space or delete existing space manually. Whatever is coming by default, start the programming here to here. Okay, so remember that, otherwise it is going to throw error. Okay, so now let me show the example now. Yeah, so how it is going to work, let's talk about that also. So here you have for variable in, let's say my sequence is 1 2 and 3, 2 and 3. For loop, let's say print. I have used the variable name var, right? So I can just use var. What will happen? It is going to take the first element from this sequence assigned to variable, go inside and print it. Again, from here to here, it will go to for loop, and here it will pick the second element assigned to var, and again print it, and so on. It will keep going on until you get the last element. That's how it iterates over sequence of element. Okay, any question in this so far? It's very important to understand.
What we put in the variable?
Variable
example?
is your any name. This could be, let's say, ABC, XYZ, whatever name you want, any name.
So the name of list?
Name of list, no. Here, this is a temporary variable, like you define a equal to 10, right? So this is the variable you're defining, correct? The same way you are defining another variable here. Name of list could be here. So let's say you have a equal to 1, 2, and 3. So either you put 1, 2, 3 here, or you can replace the whole thing with the help of a. So that is what name of list you are referring. Let's say you have b equal to one string a, b, c. A, B, and C. You want to iterate over A, B, and C, right? So you can replace this complete sequence with the help of B also. Anything is fine. Okay, ultimately this should be sequence of element. Okay. Any other question?
Yes,
So if no, then let's go and see the example. So that's what it does here. For iterating variable, this is nothing but your var in sequence. This sequence could be anything, and statement. Okay, it is going here, item from sequence. It will pick first item and it will go here. Next item from sequence. Execute statement. Again, it will keep fetching the statement, execute, fetch the next element, execute, and finally it will go to, once all the elements are over, if no more item in the sequence, it will exit. This is your exit. Okay, let's take a look here. So if a equal to, let's say, I gave example of 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to add +2 for each element. How will you add that? what I can do for, let's say L or maybe number. This is my where, okay? In sequence A, then put the indentation here. The moment I put colon and press enter, you see here, this cursor is blinking here. Why not here? Because it has to tell interpreter, right? I am inside the for loop, correct? And do your programming here. So, or write any statement, print, let's say I'm adding a plus 2 or a plus 10. Okay. Now if you do that and enter, so again you can do something here because your cursor is blinking. So, but you don't want to do anything in the for loop now. You go to the beginning and just print some message for you. Okay, I am outside for loop. Let's run this. So what is the issue here? Oh, not a, it should be num. Okay, you see here. So first it got 1 for num in a, right? So 1 will be assigned to num and num will be printed with plus 10 on it. So 1 plus 10, that is 11. Again it went here, fetch next element 2, 2 plus 10, that is 12, 13, 14, 15. And finally it doesn't have any element, right? Then it is going to exit. And that's what this line is getting printed. Okay, so when you do programming, probably you might make a mistake by putting this print here. What will happen? Can someone tell me? Any idea?
5 times printing.
Yeah, 5 times. This is anyway going to be printed. This will also get printed because this is inside for loop, right? Because of this indentation. Okay, you see here. So after 11, this line is also getting printed. Again, it will fetch next element. This will get printed and this also get printed. Okay, so be careful how you are putting the indentation. Where is your line starting? So as long as you are inside, those things will get executed. If it is outside, once for loop is exited, then only the next line will be printed. Okay. So that's about for loop. So as I mentioned, for loop, when you know number of element in the sequence or how many times you would like to iterate, that's where you use the for loop. Let's say you are not sure how many elements are there, or you never know like how many times it is going to execute. Okay, so for that you will have while loop. So what is the syntax? While, then here you put the condition. Condition could be anything. It could be boolean true, boolean false, or any kind of sequence or any kind of counter, as long as it is non-zero value. Remember, as long as that condition is non-zero, it will keep executing your statement. Execute this, that, and finally, if you want to come, it will come here. The next line will be starting, and this will be your inside while loop. Okay, and you once you come out of the while loop, then your line will start from here. Next line, outside while loop. Okay, so this condition could be anything. It could be boolean true, or it could be, let's say, any count variable, okay, which is non-zero. All those things should be non-zero. True is also non-zero, right? So as long as this condition is true, this will be executed. The moment condition becomes false, it will come out of the loop. So your next line will be executed, which is outside the while loop. Okay, so let's see one example here. So here is your what to say, a block here. So you see the condition. If condition is true, execute. If condition is false, exit. Okay, so you never know when your condition is becoming false. Okay, so let me write one example here. So here, let's say I have count equal to, let's say I want to print some number in the reverse order. Okay, so while count is a condition basically. Okay, I can write in a different way also. I can use count, let's say less than, maybe greater than, where is that greater? Yeah, let's say 5. Okay, okay, this I'll show later. First, let me go with the basic one so that you guys can understand what happened. Something went wrong. Print, then can someone tell me what will be the answer here?
So 10.
Okay. Anything else? 10 is wrong answer. What else?
Infinite.
Why infinite loop?
Infinite.
Why infinite?
Yes, sir, infinite.
Yeah,
Because
infinite.
There is no
Yes.
base case.
Terminating
it's
condition
true
नहीं है.
every time.
Exactly. Every time it is
Terminating
true only, right? Because as I mentioned, count is nothing but a condition as long as it is non-zero. Okay, so here count will be replaced with 10. So 10 is non-zero value. It is true. It will go inside and execute. Again, it will go here. And again, we see count is 10. So it will keep, printing 10 until you see non-zero value here. But there is no non-zero. We are not at all decrementing. Correct? So if you run this, and one more thing, in the first class I promised, right, I'll show another number here. So instead of number, you'll see the star here. You see here, this star means it got stuck in the execution because it is running in the infinite loop. Okay, you see here it keeps printing. There's no end. So what you have to do in this case, you go to kernel and interrupt it. Then fix your code, then execute it. Okay. So what we have to do? Can someone tell me here?
So we have to put the condition over while.
What?
so
Yeah.
that
What should be the condition?
Maybe greater than 5, greater than 2.
Yeah, what you can do, count is, let's say, even though you put greater than 2 or 5, right, that is also going to be infinite because we are not all decrementing the counter variable. Here we need to decrement. So here we need to put one line called count minus 1. I minus minus, you guys remember? I plus plus in C.
Yes, sir.
That is what is happening here. Okay. So either you can write this or you can write count minus equal to 1. Anything is fine. Okay.
So count minus 1.
Yeah, count minus equal to 1. This is also fine. These two lines are same. Sorry, this is 10. Yeah, this and this lines are same. Line number 4 and 5 is same. So whichever you want, you can use it. Okay, so let me just run and see what happens. See here, exactly 10 times it is running. Correct? Why? Because count equal to 10, it is printed, but later I incremented the counter variable by 1. So 10 minus 1, it has become 9. So 9 is again non-zero value. It's a Boolean true. Again, it will go here and print it. Okay, it will keep doing until you get a 0. So 1 minus 1, 0. So while 0, which is a 0 value, okay, then it is become false. And the moment it became false, it will exit from the loop without printing anything. Okay, clear while loop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go to break statement. So why we need break statement? So let me take one example here. Let's say you have some number of elements. Assume that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Assume that the moment I don't like this number 7. Okay, the moment I see 7, I don't want to iterate anything. My job is done. I wanted only 1 to 6. Okay, so in this case, if you go with the normal while loop or while for loop, it is going to iterate over each element. But the moment I see 7, right, I want to exit from the loop. I don't want to do any operation. In that case, we use break keyword. Okay, that's the only use. So let's see the example now. This is exactly same. Conditional code, if condition is to execute it, if it is, you see the break statement, then exit directly. Don't do any execution. So I'll just take one example here. A equal to, let's say, ICPYTHON. Sorry, I'll write Python. For CHR, I'll use capital CHR because this CHR is nothing but your inbuilt keyword. That's why it is showing green. You can use C or you can use CHAR also. Anything is fine. In A, so I'm going to iterate over each and every character of Python. Print CHAR. If I do this, see here, all the characters are getting printed, right? But let's say after H, let's say H I don't like. Okay, I hate this character. So what I want to do, the moment I encounter H character, I don't want to proceed further. I don't want to look further element or further character in the string. I want to break the loop. Okay, so what you can do, you can just use if condition. If I'm going to talk about if also later, but let's for time being just use it. If CHAR is equal to H, then break. else. I could have shown if else before for loop. Else print. I can use this character. Okay. See here. The first we got P. Fine. So this condition is becoming false. It will go to else. It is going to print. Similarly, same thing will happen with Y also. It is not going to true. It will go to else. Then T. Again, this is false. It will go to else. The moment I see H, right? So yeah, character is equal to H. Break it. I don't want to proceed further. Okay. You see only P, Y, T I am getting. Okay. That's what happens with the break. Now, let's say you don't want to break it. Rather, you don't want to do anything with H, but let's jump to the next character. Okay. So that's where if you want to jump next character without breaking, let me go to whiteboard. Yeah. So I broken the loop here, right? Loop is broken. So when I say broken means it is not going to look this 8, 9, 10. But I want to see when 7 comes, instead of breaking, continue. I can give this break instead of break keyword, I can give continue. So what will happen? For the moment you get 7, it is not going to do anything. Later it is going to jump to the next element. Do same operation again, jump to the 8, 9, 10 like that. Okay, that's what is continue. So I'll take the same example and just use that example here. Instead of break, I'll use continue. See here, what is happening? PYT, and the moment H came, right, you are doing continue means go to the for loop or beginning of the loop and fetch next element after H. That's what it did. Fetch next element O. Again, it will check the condition. It is not H. Go to the else, print it. So we are getting it printed then N. That's how continue works. Okay. So there could be some condition whenever you are solving some problem, right? You want to do either you want to exit from the loop, you will use break, or you want to continue with the next set of elements, you will use continue. Okay. Any doubts so far? All good?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we have another statement called, like we have seen the break, continue, we have something called pass. Okay, so what is pass statement? Let's say you are writing if condition, okay, or maybe any kind of block of statement, or when you write a function I'll be talking in the next class. Okay, so let's say you are writing if condition. If you put some condition here, and after that you are not sure what to do here, what line of code you are going to put, you are not sure because you have not decided what to do, right? So to make program syntactically correct, you can do one thing here. You just put a pass keyword here. You cannot leave it blank. Leaving blank about this block is syntactically incorrect. It is going to throw error. Okay, so you just write pass, and for else, if you have something, do something. Otherwise, this part is also not sure what you are going to do, just put pass. Okay, so it is basically a null statement. It is not going to do any execution, but you want to maintain the block of code for future use. Once you get the logic, put it here. Once you get else logic, put it here. Okay, that's where we use pass. So let me show one example here. If let's say true, I'm not sure what to do, so I'll just use pass. Else part also, if let's say it is false, I'm not sure else part what to do, I'll just use pass. See, syntactically it is correct. It is not going to do anything. Okay, so when you are sure you don't have any logic what to put in the block of code, you always use pass. Okay, that is the use of this keyword. Okay, guys, any doubt?
So
Okay, so that's all about for loop, while loop, break, continue, and pass statement. Let's talk about the if-else condition or conditional statement. So after this, we'll do one exercise. Everyone should write the program now, because we have listened enough and we got to know a lot of things. You should be able to write the program now. Okay. Okay. So I'll be using whiteboard again, and let's go to if-else. So if-else, what is basically, I think you would have, if you have not done any programming, you would have used in the normal conversation also, right? If you do this, then this will happen. So that's what you are using if and else condition. Same thing is happening in the program also. So what is the syntax? So here is your syntax. If, then put a condition here. Okay, then followed by all your statement, then followed by else. Okay, then colon. This colon is mandatory. Okay, followed by all statement. So when this condition is true, then only this block of code will be executed. Okay, if it is false, let's say I'm writing false in if condition, then it is going to go to else and execute all the block of code. Okay, and this is also optional block. If your condition is false, you are not going to do anything, right? So you can put else as a false. Okay, sorry, else as a like optional block. When you want to do, let's say your condition is not meeting the criteria, if it is not true, then what to do? In that case, you'll go with the else block. Okay, so this is like normal if else condition. You can directly have if and some condition and just execute without else. And this is another condition where you put a condition. If it is true, execute this. If it is false, execute this block of code. Okay, third one is nested if else. So what happens basically? You write if, then put a condition here. Okay, do this set of execution. Else, we have something called elif. Again, you put a condition. Let's say you are going to have multiple conditions. Okay, this is not nested basically. This is a multiple if condition. Multiple if else. Okay, condition. So let's say you have multiple condition. If this condition is not true, go to the next condition. If this is also not true, again go to else. Again, this is optional. Okay, else is always optional. So let's say both the conditions are not true, then it will go to else and do the execution of this block. Okay, you can have n number of elif. That is what. So your normal if and if else and multiple if else condition, and we have something called fourth one is nested if else. What nested? Yesterday we talked about nested list, nested dictionary, right? Similarly, under if else, you put a condition here. Then your block is starting here, right? Inside this if else, you have another condition here, which is very much local to this particular if. You are doing some operation and again you got some conditional execution. You put if condition here. Okay, again you can put else. Do execution. Again you can put nested if. And finally your else block will come exactly below this. This is your main parent if else, I would say. Okay, and these are nothing but child if else. You can put any other if else. That is what is your nested. This is main level, this second level, this third level of if else. Okay, that's what is your nested if else condition. Okay, let's see example, then you will understand. So first we will take the normal condition. Let's say a equal to one list here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 for num in a. Okay, if I'll put num. Okay, so I'm iterating our list first, and the first element will go to num, and after that I'm going to check the condition. If num equal to, let's say, 5, print inside if. This is just for your understanding, okay, whether we are inside if or inside else. Inside else. See here, what is happening? I'm inside else. Why it is getting printed? Because the moment you get first element, it is not true, right? So if it is not true, where it will go? It will go to else. That's what is happening. Correct. Similarly, next element is also not 5. It will go to else. It will keep doing. The moment you get 5, what is happening? 5 equal to 5 is true. It will go to I'm inside if. Else is not going to execute it. That's what you see here. Okay, I can put a number here also for your understanding. Or let's say I'll just mention this. Okay, dot format num. Yeah, you got it here, right? Num5, I'm inside if, because that's what we are looking here, correct? And whenever you see any number which is not 5, it is going to execute in else part. I'm inside else. That's what you see here. So as I mentioned, else is optional, right? So you don't have to really write this also. Optional है, उसका कोई job नहीं है इधर, ठीक है? उसको execute नहीं करना है, then you don't put it here. So whenever you are interested in particular number, just use that condition. If it is true, then only it is going to do something. Otherwise, don't do. Keep jumping to the next number. Okay, guys, any doubt in this? Normally fails.
No, sir.
Okay. So this was normal condition. I think I covered everything here. Putting else. Okay, we'll use a multiple condition now. So let's see the multiple condition here. What I'll do here, if number is equal to 5, and let me think another way. So let's say I'm iterating over each number. First, I want to check whether number I'm interested in number 4. Okay, and after that, number 4 we'll check whether 4 modulo or 4 square or something. Let's say 4 modulo 2 equal to 0 or not. Okay, what I can do here, print favorite number. Okay, if number, let's say modulo 2 equal to 0, I'm putting another condition here. Then you can put another message called even number. Else I don't want to do anything, but this else I want. Else if number is not 4, then not my favorite number. Okay, just one example. Let's see what happens if you execute. What is the mistake? Okay, is a mistake. See here, what is happening? You are fetching the number. First number is not equal to 4. It went here. Not my favorite number. Okay. Similarly with 2, same thing. 3, same thing. For 4, the moment I see 4 equal to 4, this is my favorite number I'm going to put. And inside that, I'm checking another condition, whether it is having modulo 2 equal to 0 or not. If it is 0, then you can put my favorite number is even number. Okay, you can still optimize it by putting multiple condition here using AND operator. Okay, so what I mean to say here is I just want to show nested if else, that's why I have used, but this is not the right way to do that. So what you can do, if number equal to 4 and num modulo 2 equal to 0, then use this. This is not required. And it is my favorite number. You can do this also. My favorite number, and it is my favorite number. Oh, sorry, what is that? You got the idea, right? What I'm doing here. So multiple condition can be separated with the help of AND keyword, which we have already seen under operator classes, correct? Okay, guys, any doubt?
No, sir.
So yeah, this was about nested if else. Not here, should be here. Okay, so if all clear, then let's do one exercise here. Okay, I want everyone to write the program. So here is the question. Filter even and odd number from below list and just print them. Okay, so here is your list. A equal to, so let's say 1 to 10. I want you guys to filter even numbers separately and odd numbers separately. Can you guys do that quickly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please do that. Once it is done, let me know. just 2 minutes for everyone, okay? After that, let me know.
Sir, done.
Okay. I'll ask the solution, okay? Let's wait for others also.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, so you guys use for loop and if else condition, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can someone paste
Yes,
the
sir.
paste the code here? Anyone or whoever has done, just paste the code. Just to me, not to everyone. Okay, I'll take a look. Can you put the full code? Deepali. I just see one line for num in A. What about others? Not able to do or not getting logic? Okay, Praveen, your code is correct. Yeah. How about others? Let me pick randomly. Nishant, are you writing? Kritika, guys, tell something. Don't sit silent. Deepali, where is your full program? I just see one line only. Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no one's telling them. How will I assume like you guys are able to hear me? Okay, so here's the program. Let me just write for num in A. You can first iterate over each element. Okay, so this was a simple one, not A, basically num. Okay, you got all the numbers. So I am telling you to filter even an odd number. Okay, how will you do that? So what I can do, if I'll put a condition here, if num modulo 2 equal to 0, then only it is even number, right? I can just put number, this is even number. So those who have done the programming, please try to always put some meaningful message in the print, okay? That will give you hands-on. Okay, so number 2 is even number, number 4 is even number. Otherwise, only two possibilities there, either even or odd. So for odd, you don't have to really put not equal to 0. You just put else. Number is odd number. That's all. So 1 is odd number, 2 is even, then 3 is odd number, 4 is even. Okay.
Sir, if we have 0 in our list, then we have to put one more condition.
No, not required actually. If you put 0, then it will come by default 0, right? So it is an even number you can consider. Okay. So let's say you put 0, what will happen? Let's see. 0 will come under even number. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So yeah, that's all you solve it. Now let's do another exercise. So whatever you have learned in list, right? Those things you are going to use. So filter even an odd number from below and add them separately in even an odd list and print them. So right now we are just printing, right? I want to create a list of even number and list of odd number. How will you do that? Can you guys do quickly, or you have the idea? Can someone suggest how to write the program or how to solve this problem?
Sir, from the switch or we just learned about the break. we have to avoid the odd number and create a list of even number after that, and then we put another condition after breaking it. Sorry, by default when it ends we put one more condition about the odd list, and then by default it ends to the odd.
No, but the question is how you are going to add into the list. So let's say I have a list of all 1 to 10 number, right? Out of that, I'm going to create another list, which is even list. Okay, and odd list also. So whenever you get even number, you have to put that in the bucket of even number, bucket of odd number. How you're going to do that? That is the question here. So once everything is added even into even list and odd into odd list, you print them. Finally, list of even number equal to this even. List of odd number equal to odd. That's all. It is going to print the odd number, even number. So what I mean to say here, you just use even equal to this and odd equal to this. Now this is the hint. Okay, now you tell me how you are going to do. So from fresher, this kind of interview questions are expected. Okay.
So maybe if we put print even and curly braces.
No. So I think you guys forgot what I talked yesterday.
So we will use append function.
Yes,
and
that's what I was expecting. Okay. So how will you use append? Who is this? Naveen or
Krishna, sir.
Krishna? Okay, Krishna. How we are going to do that? Can you just tell me?
Sir, first we run. We will use if statement num modulo 2 equals to 0. If it's a odd, then we will append in even list, or if is even, then we will append it in even list, or we add it on odd list.
Correct. एकदम सही है. यही मैं सुनना चाह रहा था. ठीक है. So we talked yesterday, right? How to use append and all. So what you will do, you take the same program. Okay, and just okay, let me write from scratch. Okay, so you, as I mentioned here, you have to have even and odd list, correct? So we know that that list is not existing. You are going to create empty list. That's how we create empty list. Nothing is there, correct? That bucket is empty basically. It's a bucket of even number, bucket of odd number, which is empty right now. We are going to add those numbers. So how to add? So for num in, let's say, a, okay, if num modulo 2 equal to 0, then what to do? Even dot append what? Number, because for this number the condition is 2, right? Append it. Else what to do? Pretty simple, right? For dot append number. That's all. And later what you have to do? Just print this message outside the for loop. Okay, so even number is, just remove this and put empty bracket, and this will be your even. Odd number, and just put odd. That's all. See here, this is what I wanted. Any doubt, guys, so far? This is one of the very simple example, but yes, someone asked, right, how to put a logic. So that's what I'm going step by step. First, you should know list, then you should know operator. First, you should know operator, then list, then for loop, then if else condition, and how to use modulo operator and all. Once you know all this, just stitch them together and form the program and form the logic. Okay, so how many lines of code we have written here? 10 lines of code, right? I can do same thing with 2 or 3 lines of code. So we'll see the next. That's what that whatever you are going to learn next, right? That makes Python more powerful. Okay, and interviewer definitely will ask those kind of questions. So any doubt so far? Otherwise, we'll move to the next session. Any doubt how I did even number, odd number, how this thing is working?
No,
So
sir.
how we see the number of lines?
Number of lines. Okay, so go to escape. Let's say you are editing, right? Your cursor is blinking. Press escape. Cursor will not blink. Then you press L. L will toggle the line number. Okay. Is it working now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So those who still have those doubts on the shortcut, how to enable this thing, was the first video, day 1. I have talked about these things. Okay, so no doubt, then let's take a 5-minute break. Then we will start list comprehension, dictionary comprehension, and after that we'll touch functions also. We'll try to complete this today. This is not going to take much time. We have 1 hour, right? That is good enough. Okay, so we'll start by 10. Please come back, okay? Don't go and not coming back for the class. Guys, I'm back. All of you are back. Then let's start list comprehension. Have you guys heard about this earlier? This is something new and it is there only in Python. I don't think so. It is there in Java. Anybody heard about it?
Sir,
No? Okay. So let's read this definition. Okay, so list components are used to create new list from their iterables like tuple, string, and arrays, and list also. Okay, a list composition consists of braces containing the expression which is executed for each element along with the for loop to iterate over each element. Okay, so first of all, combination is nothing but a precise way of creating the list with the help of loops inside a list. Okay, you can put a condition along with the loop also, and this condition is along with either if, or if along with else, and if along with else along with another if. Correct? So multiple if else condition you can put just in a single line. Okay, so let me go ahead and explain the syntax first. Where is that? Okay, so how it works basically, so we have, this is the syntax. Syntax of list comprehension. Okay, so you can use list comprehension only when you are going to have multiple for loops and if else condition. Okay, because normally normal list comprehension without any if and else, it doesn't make any sense to use. You can use normal list also. Okay, so let's say you have, this is the list. So since we are talking about the list comprehension, it is going to start and end with square bracket. Okay, and here you will be using for loop for, what is the syntax we have used for loop, right? Same thing, for, where, in, then sequence. Okay, this is your sequence. So what it will do, it will take the first element, go to the where. If there is no condition here, right, you can put where as it is here. Again, it will take another sequence element, pass it to where, and if there is no condition to check, just pass to where again and again. Okay, so like that it will keep going, and until you get the last element, it will like the moment you get the last element, it will exit from the list comprehension. Okay, so this is the simple variation of, or simple form of LC, that is list comprehension. Okay, now let's see with the help of condition. So if you put a for variable in sequence and you put a condition here, if here is your condition, then see what happens. It will take the first element and this variable will be passed to the if condition. This where element will be passed to the if condition. If condition is true, then only this will be passed to where. Remember this sequence. Okay, so this is your first, then your second movement, and third movement will be this. If condition is true, then only it will pass. If it is false, then again it will go back to where to check the next element. This will be your fourth. If condition is false, if it is true, then it will pass to this variable. Okay, so this is another variation of list comprehension. This is your first, this is your second, and third one is you can use if and else also. So here what they suggest, use for, where, in, sequence. If here is your condition, I just put this short form. If condition is true, then go to this variable. This is your starting of list, and else go to this expression I'll mention. If condition is false. Okay, so what is the sequence here? This is your first sequence. Okay, the moment it is the moment it has taken the first element from the sequence to variable, this will pass to the if condition. This is your second. If it is true, then go here or go here. Okay, so two kind of expression you can execute simultaneously by using this simple if else condition. Okay, so this is the third form, and fourth form is exactly same as this. Only thing is you can put another condition here instead of this here, right? You can put if condition this. So what will happen now? Sequence will change. You get the first element from the variable. This is your first sequence. Now second will be always this. So before entering to this particular block, right, first it is going to check this condition. Here your first level of filtering will happen. If this is true, then only it will pass to this particular if. This is your third. Okay, if it is true, then go to this. If it is false, it will go to this. Okay, so these different kind of variations are there, and this is what makes Python more powerful, because multiple expressions you can add in the single line statement, and that's what is your list comprehension. Let's see the example now. So all those things I have written, you guys can read here. These are the syntax. Okay, various syntax. So let's see one example. So in case you are having some element here, right? Let's say 1 to 5. I'm going to generate a list from this particular list. How you can do that? Or this will make more sense if you want to have, let's say, Python. Okay, so I can generate like this. For variable, I can use C in A. This is what we saw. Okay, and here C. This is the simple form of list comprehension. So you take the first element, that is nothing but P, to this variable, that is var C. If there is no condition to check, pass it to here. Okay, that's how it will pass. See here. So you can convert a string into list with the help of list comprehension. Very easy to do that. Okay, let's say you have another example here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we did list comprehension and dictionary comprehension, right? So if you remember, 5 or 10 lines of code we did. You can do in single line. And this is more frequently asked in the interview. How do you create a list of even number from a given set of numbers in single line? Okay, that's where list comprehension will come into picture.
So what is C here?
C is just a variable. You see, where is that? You see, I'm writing var here, right? So this var is nothing but a variable. It could be any variable. I just use C for character and num for numbers. Got it? Okay, so in this case, I can use num or n. Anything is fine. So if you just want to iterate over each number or each number of the list, you can use this particular form. And I'm getting 1 to 10. But it does not make any sense to use list comprehension for this, because it is already available in the form of list, right? I want to add some conditions. So what I can do here, if number modulo 2 equal to 0. Now see what happens. Just in one line, I got this even number. Correct? I can write not equal to 0. Just by changing the condition, I'll get odd number also. You can get in single line even an odd also with the help of lambda function, which we'll see maybe today if possible, otherwise in the next class. So you can add more complexity. It's not basically complex. You can add more expression. And single liner combination, you can add even an odd number. You can get even an odd number just in a single line. Okay, but this thing is clear. We are just using only 2 lines and we got the numbers. Okay, guys, any doubt in this? So now this is a third form. Fourth form we'll see. sorry, this is the second form. Fourth form will be, let's say I'm adding condition here. So I want to see if num, so I want to calculate the power of 2 for all the even number and power of 3 for odd number. So you are adding two conditions, right? If num modulo 2 equal to 0, then take power of 2. Okay, else if it is not modulo 2 equal to 0, then num power of 3. That's all you see here. Whichever is even number, we are getting power of 2. Whichever is odd number, it is power of 3. Just in single line. Otherwise, you could have added in a 3-4 line of condition in normal way of writing the conditions and generating a list. Okay. So now this is the third form. Now fourth form is, let's say I want to calculate power of 2 only which the number which is greater than, let's say, less than 5. Okay, and the number which is greater than 5 take power of 3. Okay, so what I can do, so for number in A, first of all, I want to add a condition here. If num modulo 2 equal to 0, then do this. So number which is even number, in that even number also, the number which is greater than 5 or less than 5 take the power of 2. Okay, so what I'll do here, the number which is, let's say, less than equal to 5, okay, take the power of 2, else take the power of 3. See here, so all yours will be even number. Why? Because we have given the condition, right? The first condition is our number must be even number. Now another set of condition is number should be less than or equal to 5 or greater than or equal to 5. So if it is less than or equal to 5, take power of 2. If it is greater than 5, then take power of 3. That's what is happening here. Clear, guys? This is very simple. You need to have some practice, otherwise you will easily mess up with these if else, where to put, where not to put. इसमें practice चाहिए. Okay, practice करने से याद रहेगा. But these are the different flavors of your list comprehension. This is a normal, this is with if, then only if else, and if else along with another if. Someone might have question, can we add else here? No, that is not the syntax. Okay guys, any question? Okay, if no question, let's see the dictionary comprehension. So can someone tell me what changes will be there in dictionary comprehension? We already see list. I think syntax is already there, you guys can see and tell. So since it is dictionary comprehension, so it must start and end with curly braces. That is one change. And internally, since we are talking about dictionary, it has to be key and value pair. We saw yesterday, right? Dictionary syntax. And rest of the things are same, the one which we saw in the list. You need to do this. So I want you guys to generate a dictionary using dictionary comprehension of this list, where key will be your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and value should be your power of those key. Can someone solve it and copy paste the solution? और anybody, किसी को solution पता है और कुछ guess करके बता सकता है, बताओ मेरे को. I'll pick the name. Okay. Again, Akshita. If you understood list and dictionary comprehension, I already told what changes will be there. How you are going to solve this question? Indranil? No one is talking. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Payal, what is the solution? Do you know that?
So I can try it by putting the key and value expression and then giving the condition for variable, that is num, and sequence, that is A,
Mm-hmm.
and then further move it
So this is very simple. You don't have to use condition. All you have to do is just key value pair, and inside value you just need to use power of 2. That's what I told, right? The cube, yeah, we have to use cube, not the power. Okay, so let me just solve it here for num in A. So num will be your key, and as I mentioned, right, where key is number and value is cube of key. You just use num power 3. That's all. Is what I wanted. You see here, each number we have, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10, and their cubes, corresponding cubes. Pretty simple. Anybody has doubt in this particular question or dictionary comprehension?
No,
Otherwise,
sir.
we are done with list and dictionary. Do some practice here, okay? This will be very frequently asked in an interview. At least if you have written, Python in resume you have written, they are going to ask this question. Okay, so what else they will ask? Which one is better for other than these interview questions? We have they very specific, like which one is better for loop or list comprehension. So list comprehension will be better because the code complexity, though it is added, but it is just a single line expression. Okay. Can we use nested list in the comprehension? Yes, we can use. You can use another like list inside list we have used, right? Same way list comprehension, another list comprehension you can use. So I want you guys to practice it. If you have any doubt while practicing, just let me know in the next class. I'll help you guys. Okay, so that's all about list and dictionary comprehension. Someone might ask this question. I was expecting, but no one has asked. Do we have tuple comprehension? Did you guys get that question in mind?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you try by changing a bracket? Okay, so I'm just going to explain in the whiteboard. Okay, why tuple comprehension is not existing, because there is one expression called if you. So as I mentioned tuples, so definitely you will be knowing about this bracket, right? If you put any expression for, let's say, variable in some sequence, and here you close the bracket using this, and here is your variable. Okay, so syntax wise it is correct, but this is not known as tuple comprehension. This is known as generator. So this is also going to create a sequence of collection of element, but only thing is it is in the form of generator. For generator, it is nothing but it's kind of iterable which is existing in the memory. It is going to return the value only when you call it. That is what is generator. Okay, so for that we have something called next function. So let's say generator, it is returning, let's say gen. Some generator it has returned. If you call next, if you pass generator object, it is going to return the first element. So let's say first element was 0, you'll get 0. If you run again, you'll get 1. If you run again, you'll get 2. Like that, it will keep giving the element as long as it has. And once you are reaching end of element, and again you execute, it will give one error called stop iteration, because there is no element in the generator. Okay, try this at home. Doesn't work, let me know. And that's what tuple comprehension is not existing. But in case you want to generate tuple, you use list comprehension. And there is one function called tuple. Put list comprehension output here. It is going to generate the output in the form of tuple. That is the reason it is not existing. Okay. Yeah, any other question you guys got? Some people are leaving without notice. Okay. Okay, if no question, then what else we have? Let me just check. Yeah, we'll start the function now. Okay. So let me see if it has some old data, what I have to clear it. It does have a lot of code. I'll just remove this. Mostly you have to listen here because all the concept you should know very well. So meanwhile, I am removing all the previous code. You guys know about the function? Anybody know? Just tell me before I start telling something. Anyone? Have you heard about function earlier?
Yes, sir. Simply,
What it is?
function
Let's
is a
tell me
group
in
of
short.
group of statement. Simply,
Group of statement. Yes. Why
Which
do you
performs?
use function?
Because sir, its perform is specific task.
Okay. What else? Okay, so let's read the functional definition. Okay, so Python function is a block of code. You said a statement, right? Group of statement. This is nothing but block of code or set of Python statement written to perform a computational, logical, or evaluative task. So why this is basically required? Let's say you have some block of code, right? And you want to execute that block of code for different kind of inputs. So there is two way. Either you don't know the function, you write print statement multiple and keep getting the input and keep writing. But you will be repeating a lot of tasks which is already defined somewhere. Correct? So to avoid repetition of execution, to avoid repetition of writing the code, you go with the function. Okay, so it's basically block of statement which can be called and which can be executed with the help of different set of inputs. Okay, so the idea is to put some commonly or repeatedly done tasks together and make a function so that instead of writing the same code again and again for different inputs, we can do the function call to reuse code contained in it over and over again. So basically to make reusable of code, we write the function. So reusability will be the main thing here for the function, and to maintain the modularity, easy to maintain the code. Those are the different purpose or different reasons for writing the functions. Okay, so what are various type of functions? So we have inbuilt, like we have already seen, right? Some list, tuple, those are function, correct? User defined function is the one which we are going to learn now. Okay, and anonymous function, which we'll see maybe in the next class, because after this I have to talk about lambda also. And you have read about list comprehension, dictionary comprehension. So I was telling, right, you can make it more complex by adding another thing, right? That is nothing but lambda. Okay, so this also makes Python more powerful. By combining list comprehension along with the lambda, it is becoming more and more complex, but very easy to read the thing and very easy to get the job done in the single line of code. Okay, so let's see how to write the function. So here again, I'll use whiteboard. Let me clear this. Okay. So here is the syntax. So we have one keyword called def, that is nothing but definition. And here is your function name. Okay, and here is your bracket followed by column. This is mandatory. Okay, because once column you hit enter, right, it is going to go inside, and here your line of code will be starting. And this indentation will tell you are in the block of the function. And when you start next line from here, exactly below the def, you are out of the function. Okay. Now inside this, we write something that is nothing but variables. Those variables are also known as parameters, or also referred as arguments. Okay, so how to write once again? Def, then function name, then in the bracket, let's say I write a, then comma b, comma c, then d. There's no limitation, okay, but use it wisely. You cannot put put 100 of arguments or 100 of parameters. Okay, use only whatever is required, followed by colon and all your statement. Okay, and at the end of a statement, we have one keyword called return. This is also optional and used as exit from the function. Remember this line, exit as function. I ask this question from everyone, whoever I'm taking interview. If I use return and after that return, you are writing any print statement or anything, any operation you're doing after return, will this statement get executed or not? People say yes. Some people say yes, some people say no. So if you say no, then you get 100 by 100. Okay. Because as I mentioned in the return, this is optional. If you are using, it is used as exit as a function. or exit from the function. Means the moment your return statement is executed, you have exited from the function. Means it is not going to execute these statement, whatever is written after the return. Even though your Python is not going to throw any error, but it is not going to be executed. Okay, remember this. So return is the keyword which is used as optional to return some output from the function. If it is used as a exit from the function, and after that, whatever statements are there, that is not going to be executed. Okay, so let's see the basic function, how to define. So function definition, we have def keyword, and here your function name, let's say I use function1. So this name is also following the same rule what we have learned about how to define the valid variable name. पूरा रूल सेम है, कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. ठीक है, इसके नाम में 1 2 3 या जो भी नंबर है वो सब आ सकता है. अंडरस्कोर से स्टार्ट हो सकता है, अंडरस्कोर से फिनिश हो सकता है. ठीक है, at the rate you cannot use. No special variable will be used either at the beginning or either at the end. Okay, then here you can use this, and let's say I'm just using print hello. Okay, so once you define, right, what is happening? Once you define and run it, it doesn't mean that it is going to be executed. The definition is going to be created. Your function is created, it is not yet executed. It will be executed only when you call the function. How to call the function? Whatever name you have given, function1, just put the bracket. That's all. So when I'm calling, it will see whether definition is defined or not. If it is defined, go to inside the function and execute the line, whatever is written in that. Okay, this is a normal way of writing or defining the function and executing the function. Okay, so as I promised in the previous or first class, using triple quote, right? So what is the use of triple quote? Though it is a string, but there is a specific use that is used for docstring. So how to use docstring? So again, I'll use this function. Here you can use triple quote, triple single or triple double quote. Okay, and here you can write the documentation. This function does print hello, just for example. This is a multi-line comment, nothing more than that. This is just documentation of this function, what it does. Okay, now if I'm going to call this, and if I just press shift tab, see what it is giving. This function does print hello, nothing more than that. That's all. And that's how you get the documentation. So this is very helpful when you guys are creating the library or writing any function. Write 3 or 4 lines of document about that function, what it does, what parameter it takes, what kind of parameter it does return, what kind of calculation it does, so that whenever someone else refers your code, right, they will get to know what this function does. ठीक है, so इसमें shortcut नहीं है कुछ भी. You have to write the document string. You cannot escape. It is optional, but I'm telling you guys to make a habit of writing 2-3 lines of documentation for that particular function. Okay. Any doubts so far in the basic function definition? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's see about what are the parameters you can pass. Okay. So I'll just show with the help of whiteboard again. And listen carefully. This is very important. We will have a lot of details here. So I'm going to take this. So let's say we have def. Here I'm creating one function sum. Okay. It takes 2 arguments and does, let's say, C A plus B and print C. That's all it does. Okay, so when you call this sum, right, we while defining the function, right, we have passed 2 parameters, that is A and B, right? So when you see A and B, right, whatever parameters there means, those are called mandatory argument. What does it mean? Basically, you must pass those 2 arguments. Mandatory argument. This is also known as, what is it? Non-keyworded argument. You'll get to know what is non-keyworded argument. Okay, this is also known as positional argument. Virus name. Okay, but very frequently this name will be referred, mandatory argument. Okay, so whenever you call a sum, then you pass at least 2 arguments, 2 and 3, because these two you have made it mandatory, right? A and B must be passed. So 2 will be taken by A and B will be taking 3. Then it is going to this code CA plus B, that is 5, print C. So I'm going to get output as 5. Okay. Now let's say you are calling sum again. Not here. I'm calling sum and I just passed 10 here. So what will happen? Just pass 10.
Error, sir.
What error?
So we have to pass 2 arguments. that is A
Exactly,
and
because
B.
we are making it mandatory in the definition, right? So if you pass this argument, it will throw the error. Like you are expecting 2, but you passed 1. Correct? That is error. If you pass 10 and 2, then 3, what will happen?
Again error.
So error.
So even though you have passed 2 mandatory argument, third one is coming from nowhere, right? That is not at all defined. This function is not expecting third argument, but you are passing it. So this is also going to throw error. Okay, so any number which is like less than number of mandatory arguments or more than mandatory argument, you are going to get error. We'll see how to handle such condition where even though you have made 2 as mandatory, third one is not mandatory. So how to handle that? Instead of throwing error, you should execute. We'll see that. Okay, so this is about mandatory, non-mandatory, positional, and how to get the error and how to fix that. Now let's say you have def sum. Here I'm giving A, then B equal to 10. Then you do, let's say, print A plus B. And while calling, I'm just passing, let's say 100. What will happen in this time?
Sir, it will print A is equal to 100 and B is equal to 10.
Yes. So finally you get 110. This will be your output. So in this case, what happened? This is mandatory and this is non-mandatory argument. Because you are setting the default value. This 10 is nothing but your default value. So the moment you give any default value to parameter, it makes function as non-mandatory argument, and doesn't matter you are passing or not passing. If you are passing, then that will be overwritten, like 10 will be overwritten. If you're not passing, then you have the argument to handle it. Correct? So I can call sum 200 and 100. So what will happen? 200 will be taking 200, and B of 10 will be overwritten by 100. So you'll get 300 as output. Okay, so this is what is your non-mandatory argument, and this is your mandatory argument. Okay guys, so remember that. And whenever you pass argument like this, B equal to 10, this is also known as keyworded argument. And whenever you just have this, then that is called non-keyworded argument. We already saw here this non-keyworded. Okay, so why it is called keyworded? Because you are having B as key and their associate value is 10. Okay, so B is your key and this 10 is your value. That's why it is called keyworded argument. Clear?
Sir, do we give the value through argument? Like if we want to place the value of A, that is 10.
Yes, so you can pass like this. Sum, I can pass A equal to, let's say 10 and B equal to 20. This is possible. You can pass like this. Okay, so in this case, we are passing argument in the form of key. But remember, whenever you pass like this, so there is not mandatory like you must pass A as first, because A is defined first here. In this case, it becomes non-positional argument. No matter which position you are passing, but it will be taken accordingly. Okay, because A will be always taken as A, no matter it is present at the beginning or at the last. So let's say I pass B equal to 100 and A equal to minus 10. This is also valid. This is also valid. But when you pass without key, then it must be in the same order. Okay, that is one thing. And always remember, whenever you pass mix of keyworded and non-keyworded, your keyworded should always go at the last. So let's say if I pass A and B equal to 100, this is acceptable. But when you pass them, let's say A equal to 100, but you are just passing B, this is not acceptable. So keyworded should always come at the last. Okay, or it is also known as keyworded argument must come after the non-keyworded argument. We'll show that error. Okay, then you will understand. So let's see that some non-mandatory. Okay, we already talked, right? Mandatory, non-mandatory, optional, keyworded, non-optional, right? So let's talk about this. let's say I'm creating def sum a and b, print a comma, sorry, a plus b. Okay. Now I'll call sum 20. You see here, missing one required positional argument b, correct? That is one error. Now if you call like this, if you call like this, it is fine because all mandatory has been passed. If you pass extra parameter also, it is going to give error, except expecting 2, but we have given 3. Okay, we'll see how to handle that error. Now you can pass like this also, a equal to 20 and b equal to 30. This is also fine. You can pass b equal to 20 and a equal to 30. This is also fine. You cannot pass like this, a equal to 20 and just write 30 here, 30 as b. See here, positional argument follows keyword. This is what I told, right? Keyworded argument should always go at the end. Okay, that's how Python handles those arguments. Okay, but however, you can handle like this. You can pass 20, but b equal to 30 you can pass, because keyworded is always at the end. This is fine. Okay, any doubt so far?
Sir, can we put like sum a is equal to 20 and b is equal to a?
B, yeah, you can put, why not? But here a should be defined. Okay, that's a good question. Let's see that it is working or not, because it may try to search whether a is already defined or not. See here, a is not defined. Why? Because see here, these things comes under, we'll see the scope of variable also in the function. The moment you pass this argument, these are argument, not the global defined variable. Okay, you can do this only when, let's say, you are passing b equal to c, and c must be defined somewhere here, c equal to, let's say, 100. Then in this case it is fine. You're trying to assign some value from which is coming from other object. In this case it is c, so value of c is 100 and that 100 is going to be assigned to b. This is valid, but this is invalid. Okay, the one which you saw earlier. Okay, but let's say a
Yes,
is
sir.
already defined somewhere, then in that case it is fine, because it will always search whether a has been defined or not. So this a is different and this a is different. Okay, if you do this, this is fine. Okay, so this a will be taken from this global variable which is defined outside the function, and this a is local to the function which is internally called. You see here, where is that sum? Yeah. Okay, so we have something called global and what to say, local scope of the variable in the function. I think we have already added here. I'll show. Yeah, scope of variable, right? It will be covered under this. Okay, guys. Any other question in this? Okay, if no question, then let's talk about handling multiple arguments. So let's say I define a function called sum again. And here we have a comma b. Okay. Then we have print a plus b. But while calling, I am using sum 10, 20. Up to here it is fine. We have already seen. But the moment you pass 30 and let's say 40 also, it is going to throw error, right? So how to handle this kind of extra argument? We have something called star arg. Okay. So whenever users are crazy, okay, whenever they get the function, they may try to pass a number of argument without knowing the function, or maybe blindly they throw the values to the function. Okay, so we have to make function very intelligent so that it can handle all kind of garbage input from the user. Okay, so I can have something called star arg. Okay, so here arg is nothing but is just a variable name, but this is the standard name we use because this is nothing but argument. Okay, so star means whatever extra parameter have been passed after the mandatory argument, that is a and b, store all the element in the form of tuple. Okay, so let's print what this tuple contains, and this arg could be any variable name. I just use the standard name. You guys can put your name also, anything is fine. arg. See here. So a plus b, 10 plus 20, it is gone. 1340 has been stored in the form of tuple. So no matter user is passing n number of argument, everything is going to be stored in the form of tuple. Okay. And how you can use this tuple basically? Let's say I want to use last element from the tuple. How you can use arg of -1. I want to add, let's say 40 in this a plus b. That's how you can use where it went, or not -10, -1. Okay. So 10 plus 20 plus 40, 70. We got the output. That's how you handle it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. Let's store it. And later, if you want to use, you can do the indexing, get the value, and perform any operation, whatever you want to do. Any question in this?
No, sure.
Okay. So in the same context, we can handle keyworded argument also. Now we saw b equal to 10, right? Can we handle those kind of elements also? Yes. So for that, we have something called quark. This again is standard format keyworded argument, that is quark, just a variable name. And whatever value you are going to pass in the form of key value, it is going to be stored as a dictionary. So this has to be defined as double star. Okay, quark. Now let's put quark here. So I can use, let's say, c equal to, because a and b you cannot use because it is already used here. Okay, so you can use any other variable name which is not matching with this variable. Okay, I can use c equal to 30 and d equal to 30, 40. See here. Let's remove that. So all the keyworded argument will go in the form of dictionary. Okay, how you can use it in case you want to add, let's say, last element or dictionary as d element, right? So I can use quark of c. That's how you can use. Okay, so that's how we handle quark or arg argument. Okay, now do we have mechanism to handle both together? Yes. So we have something called handling multiple arguments using KW and keyworded and non-keyworded. Okay, I can use arg and keyworded together. Let's see how to do that. So as I mentioned, keyworded should always go at the last. So before that, we can have argument star arg. Okay, so let's put this. So I can pass, let's say 100, then 200, then C and D. See here, this is my arg. So these two are not mandatory, right? And but this is without keyword, so it will go as a tuple. What about this? This is again non-mandatory, but they are passed as a keyworded. So this will be stored as dictionary. That's what you see here. And how to use for this one, you can use indexing slicing, and this you can use indexing using keyword. Okay, guys. Any doubt so far? All clear? So those who left without notice, please tell them don't do that. Either join the class and stay till last, otherwise don't join the class. I see now only 13 participants. And Soni madam is watching this carefully, okay? So be careful. If you want to attend, please stay at the class and show some seriousness. Otherwise, don't join. Okay, guys, so let's talk about the scope of variable. So let me define again some function here. Let's say function 2 here a comma b print a plus b. So here, let's say I define another variable called c equal to a plus b, and here I'm returning c. Okay, so whenever you define any variable inside a function, right, that scope of that variable will be local to the function. C is local to the function because it is created inside function. Its job will be done within internally. The moment you come out of the function, it is no more existing. Okay, so let's see. If I call the function 2 and here I just pass, let's say 20, 10 and 20, and try to print c here. See what is happening. think it is already defined somewhere. I'll just use another variable called z. Okay. See here. So I have created another variable called z. So z is doing what? A plus b, right? So a plus b is done, and I am printing z. That is nothing but 30. That is 10, 20, 30, right? But what about this? The moment I am coming out of the function, I am printing z. What it is telling? Name z is not defined. Why it is not defined? Because you have created the variable which is inside the function. So its scope will be local to the function, not outside. Okay. So this is one example where it is local. Now, if you want to make sure that z, whatever is defined inside function, I want to make sure it is available outside the function also. Okay. So in that case, you can always define this z as global z. Okay. And now in this case, z is globally available. Okay. Now see here, whatever operation you did with z, it is available outside the function also. So while making it global, be careful. If any other variable is defined, that may get overwritten. Okay, so if you are sure you don't have this variable already outside the function, then you make it global. And any variable which you define in outside, let's say I define p equal to, let's say 20 or maybe 1000. So by default, whatever is defined outside the function, which is already a global variable. So p can be used outside as well as inside. So let's say I'm adding z plus p. Okay, so what will happen here? Oh, my bad. Here I have given as string. Yeah. So print z a plus b plus p. So p you see here, I have not at all defined in the inside function. Since it is defined outside, so it is by default global. Okay, so let me mention that by default global variable. Okay, you can use inside also, and outside anyway it is defined, so you can use it anytime. Okay guys, so that's about global variable. Any doubts so far? Anyone? People are still leaving. Only 11 participants. Okay. Anybody has any question in this global and scope? Global and local variable. What is the scope of variable? How it is decided?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about a nested function. Whether can we, like we have seen nested list, nested dictionary, and nested if else, nested for loop. Similarly, we can define nested function also. Okay. So let's see how to define. So I'll use def, let's say f2. It is just going to do one simple operation. Let's say print hello. Okay. Inside this, I'm going to define another function. So function inside another function is called nested function. There's no limitation in this. Okay, you can define whatever you want. Print word. But remember, function whenever it is called, right, then only it will be executed. If it is if you're running just after defining, it is just creating the definition, not the execution. Okay. So now I created. If I call, let's say f2. So what it is going to do? See, the moment I call f2, right, hello is getting printed because it has been called, and inside f3 would have got defined. But this is not going to print word until you call it. Okay, so we have to call it outside. So let's say if I call f3 here, so this will get executed only when you call f2, right? If I call this, you see this line got executed, f3 got defined, and f3 we are calling inside. So that is also getting called. Okay. So if you have defined like this, then it should be executed within the function only, not outside. It is not available outside, which is local to the function. Okay, so that's what is this. I'll put here. Okay, any question in this? What is nested function? How to execute? How to call?
No, sir.
Okay, if no question, then let's see the user input. This is another useful function because why it is useful? Because let's say you are doing some operation and you don't want to hard code some value of a variable. You always want to get the output or get the input from the user, right? So that's where we have something called input function. Okay, so input, and it takes one argument, let's say enter number. Okay, so whenever you enter print a, and let me show what kind of type it supports. That is very important. So when you enter, when you execute, right, it is going to give a pop-up, enter a number. You are free to write anything here. When you execute, that number will be assigned to a, or whatever input you have given, that will be assigned to a, and later it is going to execute print a. So we are getting 10. But remember, even though you have written a number which is integer type, it is showing the string data type. Okay, so no matter what you enter inside input function, it is always going to be treated as string data type. Okay, guys, so remember one thing, whenever you are using this function, you need to do always typecasting. So why typecasting? Because let's say I am telling you to get number from a user and take the square of it. How will you do that? Can you do that? Is it possible? You cannot do right, because on a string you cannot take the power of 2. Any mathematical operation you cannot do. You have to do typecasting. So what I mean to say here, print a, you can use int of a and take power of 2. Then only it is possible. If you would have done without this, it would have thrown error. See what is the error? Unsupported operand type. Basically, for a string, you cannot do any mathematical operation. That's what it tells. But when you do typecasting, you can do whatever you are doing it in the function. If you are doing integer typecasting, it will convert to integer or float or complex, whatever you want to do. Okay, guys, any question in this? It's already 10:55. Anybody, any question?
Sir, we don't have to create any string.
No. Here, by default, whatever you are inputting, right,
We just
that will be treated as a string data type. Okay.
okay, sir.
So if you are entering integer, you need to do typecast as integer. If you are entering 10.6, that is float. So you need to do typecast as float. Then only it will be taken. Okay. So that's the end of function. We have one more topic, though it is small, but I want to take it in the next class, not today. It's very important one. We'll see in the next class. We'll do some exercise also in the lambda. Okay. So make sure that those who are still having some doubt on list, string, or loops or condition, please revise those videos and you'll understand, and you'll be able to solve the problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and after lambda, we'll be talking about numerical Python, that is scientific library to do scientific computation. That comes under NumPy, and do the data visualization using plots. So related to MATLAB. You are going to use MATLAB, so that will be helpful for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, anybody, any other question? And please tell
Sir.
tomorrow you guys, yeah, tell me.
Sir, in which portion we will learn about the graph?
Yeah, that's what in the next class under matplotlib. Like plotting the data. That's what you are asking, right? Data visualization.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so in the next class we'll see. That will come under matplotlib. So next Sunday, I guess, or maybe Saturday. In Saturday's class only we'll see if NumPy is completed. Otherwise, Sunday we'll talk about graph only. Yeah, so what I was telling you guys are going to college tomorrow, right? So please tell those who really want to learn Python seriously. Okay, so let them attend and be there at the end of the class, not leaving in between. Doesn't look good. And I'm putting a lot of effort for you guys to make sure that you understood properly, and it is going to helpful. It is going to be very helpful in your career. Okay, and when you are start learning DSP, DIP, all those things, right? You can apply Python knowledge in that subject. That's why I'm putting more effort on that. So learn new concept or new subject, not just by bookish language. Okay, try to make or try to do some experiment on that using Python language. Then it will be definitely fun learning. Okay, guys, if no more question, then let's find out. Thank you so much and see you in the next week. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, sir.